Hello, and welcome to today's review of the Transformers Dark of the Moon Human Alliance Basics of Whirl. Now, Whirl also comes with this guy, whose name I do not remember. But yeah, there you go, cool dude, wearing green. Sits in the chopper nice and good, but we'll get to that. Now, the general robot mode on this guy, I have to say, in terms of just the figure overall without spoiling too much, I do think this is the peak of the basics Dark of the Moon toys for the Human Alliance subline. And you know, it basically comes down to how posable this robot actually is comparative to the others. The transformation actually being a really interesting yet straightforward experience, and then having a vehicle mode that just does everything it needs to do. Sure, there are some pitfalls, but they are pitfalls that figures bigger than this don't even escape. You know, so it's much more forgiving when the original toy, or the toy in question being Whirl, only retailed for $10. You know, I can look past giant propeller on the back. Because, you know, in a way it's really cool. And in a lot of scenarios it just gets in the way. But everything else about this is pretty sick. So, let's go. For the articulation on this guy, right? So, shoulders are going all the way around, that's pretty expected stuff. They're going up at 90, so you could hit the T-pose or whatever. There you go. Backwards butterfly. And you're like, okay, cool, right. And then you go here, you have the 90-degree elbow. There you go. Bicep swivel, which is really bloody nice. Hands are molded in here, so we're not getting any wrist movement or whatever. Legs have maximum up. Legs have maximum back. Legs have a really wide spread out. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Knees are going to go all the way in. Now this is for transformation, which is why he has such an amazing joint there. It's very, very good. Ain't gonna beat around it. He's got ankles, bloody amazing stuff. Feet go all the way up like so. There you go. And feet are gonna pop off the ball joint. Nice. There you go. Problem solved. I pulled it off again. My bad. Alright, you've got to be a bit careful with how you move that section. But yeah, it just pops off the ball otherwise. Anyway, so all of that. No waist. That's okay though. And then the head is going to come down. Okay, it seems to have bounced back up. Okay, there's a little bit of down movement, not a lot of it. Head swivels all the way around. No left, no right. Ever so slightly if you push the ball. It's so-so, you know. I think if it was sanded off a little bit, it'd stop springing back into position. That'd really help, but you shouldn't have to modify your toys to get them to do good stuff. And then yeah, the backwards butterflies they're not the icing on the cake for this. I think the icing on the cake for this figure is everything else it does. This is just an excellent joint to have. So generally I do think it's brilliant. And I'm all for it. There you go. Flip that back on. So sadly you can't hold the guns either. Oh well, it can be excused. Yeah. You could just kind of have them there. Human Alliance figure. The human dude. Man, he moves like all the rest of them. Legs, like kind of doing the wiggle around. You'll get them out to the side if you turn the joint like that. Knees are swiveling. Knees are going down a bit. Arms kind of have some generic movement. Heads just go swivel. And then wrists, I'm all for the rest. It's very good. Especially at the size. But it's not necessary when they're not really doing an awful lot besides maybe holding a steering wheel. So yeah, generally, cool stuff. Definitely in favour of it. And for the robot mode size comparison, here we have Dark of the Moon Voyager Ironhide, Dark of the Moon Deluxe Q, GDO Wheelie, in car mode because well, kind of keep it interesting, you know, so you can see how the robot scales with a vehicle. I've never done this before. I've only just thought to do it. So here it is. Ralph. Slave. Now, how do I feel about all of this? Now, the Human Alliance figures, as you can see, they are taller than mini figures anyway. And, you know, in my opinion, you're not going to have your kind of Human Alliance figures or whatever, I mean, kind of accurately scaling with the Transformers. You know, the Transformer figures, in all fairness, are way too small. Maybe if you went masterpiece scale, all of the minifigures and stuff could scale a lot better, but it's not so important, you know. What I care about most is the Transformers look good together. Scale or not, it's just a bonus. GDO really being brought in here is just kind of so you can see him with a vehicle. And man, I'm losing my will to speak. I genuinely think it's important. That is the gist of it. So, for the transformation on this guy, we are going to spin the head like so. Plop that in. Bring the arms back. The arms, if we twist them round at the bicep swivel, and kind of have them like that, we're going to tap together here. We're going to take these guns off. So there you go. So he's got this back section with a bitty little propeller blade. No, it's definitely maybe definitely maybe Oasis reference right there. You know, it's a bit small, but I'm all for it. You know, it's definitely a nice little detail to have. Little detail, I mean, considering the fact it's tiny, that wasn't meant to be a pun or anything like that. Anyway, bring this down, just kind of spin these round, little tab on to here. What in the world? Oh my. Hey, I've goofed this up. It makes this all the more interesting. Right. There you go. Proper cockpit, right? This kind of shape here is what you're after. Now we're going to bring these missiles up. Fold the knees fully in. Swing the feet down. Turn it around. And then we're going to flip over to the other side. Sorry if that was off camera. Pops off the ball joint again. Beautiful stuff. Generally, yeah, the process here is really good. And then lastly, just go in here, put the propellers here, have him crush these human companion. Generally, really cool stuff. Yeah, I'm all for it, you know, definite cool detailing on the mode. We gotta actually bring these guns around to the side, man. I'm looking at the timer on the recording, and kind of made this one go a little bit long. So I will actually rush through these last sections. Generally though, I do think this is brilliant. Generally, just absolutely phenomenal stuff. I'm using all these E words, genuinely, definitely, like, oh god. Brilliant. Plug him in the back. God damn it. Look. It's a gimmick that works. Okay, let's just pretend this is correct and call it a day. Right. Anyway, for vehicle mode, GDO wheelie, alternator swindle, Ralph, Steve. Now, cool. You know, I'm not too bothered. There's not going to be an awful lot of scale with a helicopter, you know, comparative to cars. Typically a bigger room robot mode or whatever, so, you know, it's neither here nor there. Generally, they just looks really good. Paint detailing on this guy, I've not really talked about it much at all, because I've been kind of too distracted. Yeah, it's really good. You can see all the painted parts, reds, oranges, whites, this whole silver section, tamper-graphed Autobots bit, you know, this translucent light pipey bit here. It's really good. Can we give it the good old light piping test before we actually just talk about final rankings? Oh, wait a minute. Looks to be a bit of a dud. There you go. That is the cons 101 of light piping. Anyway, generally on this guy, man, I don't want to glaze over a figure, but the last two have kind of been duds, and I do love this one. Like, straight up, beautiful stuff. The stacks on this guy, I'm giving, I mean, probably he's getting like a 9 out of 10. The overall modes are just really good. If I criticize anything on this guy aesthetically, it's just like the fact he's a brown transformer. It's not doing an awful lot for him. You know, maybe, I don't know. There is a world where a brown transformer looks really good. Do I know which one? No, and it's not this world. I'll tell you that much. Present me a brown transformer that looks really good, and I will see if I agree with you. Rise of the Beast, Full Jack. He's got a lot of brown on him. He's really cool. Anyway, so aesthetics on this guy, 9 out of 10. Just generally lovely stuff. Transformation on this guy. It's so simple, but it's really effective. Like, it's not like a 10 or whatever, but it's definitely, I'll give it a 7. You know, it's definitely something to talk about. It's cool, and it gets the job done, you know. This review is just unbridled chaos, and, you know, I'm all for it. Lastly, articulation and value for money. So the articulation on this guy, comparative to all his line mates from the Dark Domain Basics, the Human Alliance subline, this guy has to be a bloody 10, right? He moves so much better than absolutely all of the other things at his price point, and it's just wonderful stuff. And value for money on this guy. Bearing in mind, this is one of the ones I've reviewed so far where I actually have everything. I have the C-clip weapons, I have the human, I have the main figure complete and intact. Just phenomenal stuff. I'm just gonna say, you know, 10 out of 10 on value for money. The other ones, they really suffer due to articulation and just little things going on with them. You know, I'm not criticizing them because I don't have the guns for them. I'm criticizing them because I don't think they're the most amazing figures in the world. Just from a handling perspective and everything else. This guy, comparative, absolutely bloody wonderful stuff. So overall, you know, that puts him in a really good spot. And there's only 2 of the other Human Alliance dudes that I do have at the basic size that I do think can kind of square up to him in some regard, but generally I do think he is the best one of the 7 molds I have. I wish I had reverb to really iron out whether this is still the best one, but reverb is something I don't have yet and probably won't have for a while, given the rarity and value of the figure. But thank you for watching. This has been AnimatedCHUG. I've done my outro in the wrong order, and goodbye.